Another rousing episode of nothing whatsoever. Also being ruined as I speak by many somethings. Mostly my son upstairs who's refusing to go to sleep, so he may come rampaging down. My name is Jeff. I'm your host of this here situation. Non-situation. I see Andrew in the blue font. What's up, buddy? Thank you for moderating. And I see Siobhan and Richard. Good to see you, Richard, and Bonnie, and Susie, and Gabriel, and Malaya. Hey, Malaya. And Mitch, and Jennifer, and Melanie, and Bonnie, and Aimless Divinity. Good to know the Aimless Divinities here. Simone, Laurie, Mike, all my friends, Jeff, Colette, and Bob, and many others who are saying hello. I'm sorry I can't catch all of them quite, but very happy to be here. And I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming back. I'm in my basement hiding out. So this is, I've just found out there is a way apparently to put the mute on. Hold on. Did that work? Did I go mute? I'm going to be using this mute button because when things get loud, so I don't want to interrupt your meditation, but okay, it worked. It's full of gratitude neurotransmitters. Lori, I assume you listened to the Mind Bod Pod episode on the neurotransmitters of happiness. That was a good one. Okay, so let's see. If you've never been here before, welcome. You're in good company. These are all fine human beings that are saying hello in the comments, and many more hanging out behind the comment zone, just doing their thing. We've been doing our thing here for 6 years or more. This little Sunday night get together where essentially we meditate, but you can do it your way. That's kind of the idea. But just to, take, there's the guided part is 25 minutes. I mean, it's minimal guidance, but just to sit and, do what you need to do. For me, I like to, it's the practice of really genuinely trying to unplug. Not that I can stop whatever got started in my nervous system from before, the echo of the day, my preoccupations, whatever mood I'm in. I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to no longer feed it for a while. And it's like, I guess it's a little bit like you're driving the car and you have your foot on the accelerator. And then at a certain point, you just let go of the accelerator. And the car is still coasting along, but there's no more gunning of the engine. It's just, so there's that momentum that's slowly, but eventually, if you're not hitting the, accelerator, eventually the car will just come to a stop. And that's the idea, although you have to have no agenda around when it's going to come to a stop. And indeed, if it will, never entirely comes to a stop. Why would it? You don't want your metabolism to suddenly, that would be called death. And even then, who knows? But it's more like you take the brake, foot off the brake, you stop deliberately hitting the accelerator, hitting the, that I got to fix, I got to work this out. And you let the system kind of start to just settle. And what I find interesting is that it's like I think I'm doing it, and then I realize, oh no, I'm not really doing it. I'm doing all this stuff still, and then I kind of stop putting the accelerator on those things, and then I think I'm not doing it, and then I realize there's even a subtler layer of things I'm still doing. So it's very interesting from that perspective, but of course it's also um, it also goes pretty deep. You start to realize how much of your life you're spending controlling, fixating, efforting, working, and even your whole self-identification system is a kind of labor that's ongoing. And so as you begin to, take your foot off the accelerator like that over time, I feel like the resting state gets deeper and deeper into the nervous system, into the whole mind body, and the reason we do it is because it can really transform your life. It can really bring down a lot of the suffering. So much of the suffering is connected to the pushing, the driving, the the fighting, the wrestling, the resisting, like all the energy expenditure that's kind of turns out to not be that necessary, although we can't help it. Anyway, what am I doing talking about all this shit? Normally I don't even see much of anything. Aimless Divinity has recently fallen in love with grounding mats. I actually tried a grounding mat for a while and they were working. It's interesting. Made it, I had these, it actually affected my sleep, except then I kept waking up with this stupid plastic mat under me that I get all tangled up in, and then I chuck it across the room. So I haven't used it in a while. Susie's meditating with her hens. Anyway, kid hasn't come down yet, so I'm gonna consider that a good sign. Let's do a 25-minute meditation. And got my little timer here. Feel free to ignore my guidance entirely. In fact, I hope you do. You can do your version of nothing. It might look like a meditation. It might look like laying on your back and stretching. It could look like anything. I'll see you in 25 minutes. Very chatty. Everyone's very chatty over in the comments today. Oh, Fred. Hey, thank you for moderating as well, friend. Fred in the blue font there. Okay. Here we go. Of the tiger. Actually, I used to have this tiger face blanket up on my wall when I first started the Consciousness Explorers Club like 15 years ago. It was like you walked in, had this giant tiger. It's very 70s. Okay, friends. Start your nothing. Oh, no. Here's our time to take the foot off the accelerator. So what does that mean? Well, in terms of the nervous system, at first it means one slow, deliberate breath and then extending that out breath a bit. That's actually called the break in the neural, whatever, ANC people call it the break, the long exhale, the parasympathetic break. So that's deliberately slowing down a bit, but we don't need to put on the brake unless you want to, unless you feel like extending. What we're really after here is not implementing any controls at all, just coasting in your being, the vehicle of your mind and body. Finding a bit of equanimity. You may have heard there's a bit of sound in my background as the washing machine is spinning the end of its cycle. But there's maybe sounds in your environment, neighbors or traffic or wind, rain. I'm not going to fight with any of that, just opening up to that experience. And in the same way, not fighting with any momentum of thought or any momentum of feeling or body sensation that's happening on the inside. So really what we're talking about is just this sort of deep allowing, letting down the guard, the armor, the resistance. And then you can do a little check-in on what is when I take my foot off the accelerator, well, what is here? What's going on in this vehicle, with my body vehicle? Is there a lot of energy? Are you more on the low energy, tired side? There's a lot of thinking, not so much aches and pains, feelings, maybe just sort of neutral, just a snapshot. So of course you can just be here, you can just be a body sitting, stretching, standing, whatever you're doing. And you might also want to hang out with a simple home base if you feel like you could use that support to help simplify your experience. Sometimes spontaneously we just find ourselves hanging out with a home base. The sensation of the breath, tingles in the hand, sound of a washing machine. But if you do choose a home base, choose something that's kind of settling, that's kind of you sort of enjoy paying attention to, or maybe a lot enjoy, or at least you're not aversive to it. Letting that home base kind of come to you, massage you with its sensation or sound. And I'll just be quiet for a while. Patient as things settle. That's another big part of it. Not having any big expectations around how things need to go. It's the least amount of effort you can expend staying delicately present. If you're working with a home base, just the more still you are in the body, the more you can notice the softest, subtlest part of the sound or sensation. The more you zoom into that, the more there can be a kind of absorption, a settling. And we can bring to that even just a tiniest bit of, what I say, gladdening the mind, a tiny bit of appreciation or enjoyment and the simplicity of the activity, the opportunity to take a break, to truly not have to get anything right, impress anyone or impress yourself, satisfy anyone, satisfy yourself. You can just be satisfaction. That's a practice. So when we say take the foot off the accelerator, I don't just mean that kind of deliberate, propulsive quality to doing and thinking. Really anything that we're feeding in some way. So sometimes we drift into kind of sleepiness or zoned outness, and in fact, what's going on may be a little bit of body tiredness, but often there's this sort of over top of it a layer in which we're kind of like indulging it, or we're like going in this well trodden path down there. And so that if that's happening, just kind of noticing that, and what would be like just backing off just ever so slightly, and just noticing, becoming more aware of the tiredness or the um, if there's any kind of dullness or driftiness. That might not be happening in your experience, but there's nothing that can happen in the mind and body that you can't notice. That's what's so incredible. You just pan back and what's happening now, and allowing it to be that way. Hey, good. The last few minutes, nice to finish with a gratitude practice, a loving kindness type practice. I kind of thought of an interesting variation, just popped in my head along the lines of taking your foot off the accelerator and just coasting. If you like, you can just imagine, you can kind of bring to mind different people in your life, maybe one by one, or maybe just one person, someone you enjoy spending time with, or but doesn't have to be. And just imagine being with them without any need to speak or do or formally connect, sort of in companionable silence. Like just, I think often we do a loving kindness practice and send affection or gratitude to different people, but often there's, you know, an expectation of how we need to be with them or something. Just imagine you're with this person and there's none of that. What does it feel like just to be in companionable silence with this person? And they're also in companionable silence. They're settled, and you're settled. They're happy just to be in presence with you and you with them, not needing to fill the space in any way. Just noticing what that connection underneath everything feels like. Sometimes real relating is quiet. Just appreciating that person, persons, or animal. Somehow it feels a bit easier to appreciate a person from this perspective for me. Nice to practice with you. You guys know what I mean about that thing at the end there with the, and when I was doing it, it was like, it was kind of really enjoyable imagining that with different people. Nice, Malaya. Mahalo, Bob. Indulging tiredness. Yeah, Bob. Um, sure. So I was just saying, what I was trying to point to there was it's not like um, uh, uh, there's all the way more dramatic ways we know doing, like the I want to run around the house doing stuff, or I'm going to problem solve, or I'm going to work something out. And none of that is a problem. It's just some of it's just happening, and you could just kind of lean back and watch it happen. But there are all kinds of other more subtle doings that are like patterns in the nervous system that we just do. And of course, in any meditation, if you can't, if that's what's happening, that's what's happening. You're not trying to stop that, but what you can notice is often that you're going along with it without knowing it. I don't know if this is making sense to people, but like for example, I notice there's a lot of longer retreats, like sleepiness. I might start to get a bit sleepy or tired, and that's just the body would naturally get tired. But there's also a way in which I've been sitting a little bit. I'm kind of noticing my stuff, and there's a part of a decision that kind of gets made in my head that I'm like, I'm kind of over this. This is a lot. I feel like this is a lot, and I just need to zone out. And so I go with the tiredness. I kind of zone out. And there is actually a kind of doing there. There's a deliberate feeding that tiredness. And in that moment I could go, oh, that's happening. I could just sort of notice the desire to want to do that. And that can kind of rise and fall. So I'm not trying to get rid of the fact that there may be a tiredness in the body. I'm just noticing that there's a part of me that wants to kind of really sink into it. And I'm going to say, well, do I want to do that or not? Maybe I do, but maybe I go there a lot. Maybe I kind of check out a lot in that way. Maybe not even in meditation, maybe other parts of my life, kind of zone out. So this is that's what meditation is, a practice to kind of see what are some of those habitual patterns that we go to, and what happens when we kind of pull back from that? Because what you can find is that the thing can pass through and you can get to the other side of it and actually you're fine. You didn't need to do that strategy after all. And there's actually this place of greater clarity or sanity or presence on the other side of that, whatever it is, whatever that is. So I don't know if that makes sense, but nice, Anne. I like that image. Your sister. Yeah. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, Bob says, yeah. Okay, so some links there. I'm doing Home Base Hangout on Thursday, so that's noon. It's kind of like this, except it's on Zoom, so I can see you all, and we can talk. And I'm usually a lot more animated because it's the middle of the day, and I'm not worrying about my kids. I'm just more awake. And so that's on Thursday, and then CEC is tomorrow night, and then of course Andrew does his thing on Wednesday, and Kevin. CEC's Kevin Lacroix does one every morning meditation. There's so many resources in this community. If you want to, literally, if you want to meditate every day, there could be something you could do in community. Wow, moving to DC, Mitch. Okay, that's huge. Last one in California. So next time we'll see you on the East Coast. Good luck with the surgeries. That sounds serious. Let us know how things go, please. Always email me too. Yeah, Laura is doing. I think this is this Neurodiversity Month. I think it is. Laura's doing a good one tomorrow. My friend Laura Creedon. Uh, Andrew's got his thing there. Oh yeah, Brooke's doing a thing Thursdays now too. Oh, you know what, Andrew? Could you send me? Let's like make a little email of all the things happening during the week and the links and where they are. That would be a really great resource. Then we could send people. We could paste it here, like a single, like you know what I mean, like a just that has a single thing, like Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. What's happening in terms of meditation opportunities, and we just paste it right in there, or send. I could send people an email of that. I don't know why I've never thought of consolidating all of that. Um, all right. My screenshot is. What are we going to call this one? We're going to call it a. What was it? A coasting, or take foot off the accelerator, or something like that. Uh, uh, yeah, maybe it's coasting. I don't know. What are some title suggestions for this one? Something like that. Take the foot off. Not pedal to the metal. Archipelago. Take the foot off the accelerator. Okay. Or just foot off the accelerator. Foot off the accelerator. Coasting, I kind of like posting. Pedal off the metal. Pedal of death. Dead foot. I like coasting, but it's elemental. But they're all good. Okay, friends. I'm gonna go up and continue the bedtime routine. Good to see you. I'll see you all, some of you this week on Thursday for the Home Base Hangout, if you're into that. Uh, that's for the Home Base subscribers. Otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday. Bye bye. Peace. Peace, peace, peace.